In spite of all the councils, synods, creeds, and confessions created to deal with this issue, most of the Bible-believing church today is Arminian. Of course, most are not consistent with respect to many aspects of their theology. People pray, for example, as if God were truly sovereign and omnipotent, leading the great Baptist preacher, Charles Spurgeon, to famously declare, "You have heard a great many Arminian sermons, I dare say, but you've never heard an Arminian prayer. For the saints in prayer appear as one in word and deed and mind. An Arminian on his knees would pray desperately like a Calvinist." With his tongue planted firmly in his cheek, Spurgeon then went on to explain that if an Arminian were to pray in a way consistent with his free will theology, he would sound something like this.
Lord, I thank thee that I am not like those poor presumptuous Calvinists. Lord, I was born with a glorious free will. I was born with power by which I can turn to thee of myself. I have improved my grace. If everybody had done the same with their grace that I have, they might all have been saved. Thou givest grace to everybody. Some do not improve it, but I do. There are many who will go to hell as much bought with the blood of Christ as I was. They had as much of the Holy Ghost given to them. They had as good a chance, and were as much blessed as I am. It was not thy grace that made us to differ. I know it did a great deal. Still I turned the point. I made use of what was given me, and others did not. This is the difference between me and them.
Of course, no true Christian would ever dare to utter such nonsense, blasphemy really, to the Lord. But if you're an Arminian, you need to think through your presuppositions. Though you would never say it with your mouth, isn't this where your theology ultimately leads? The Apostle Paul declared that there is no room in the gospel for boasting. Arminianism at its root allows for it. Thankfully, more and more Bible-believing Christians today are coming to understand the doctrines of sovereign free grace and are now making their boasts in the Lord.